Welcome to the Dropping Gems con Muchos Colores podcast. I am your host, Arely Lagunas. This is an audio community where we own and share our stories as trailblazer moms, crafting a unique and meaningful work lifestyle, leading with passion, breaking barriers, and chasing bold dreams on our own terms. Celebrating our Latina motherhood voices to bring you genuine insights of the highs, the lows, and in-betweens of working moms from a first-gen Latina lens. You don't have to travel this journey alone. Let's get started. We're thrilled to have a special guest today. Meet Liz Khalifa, a 36-year-old Puerto Rican woman hailing from the bustling streets of Chicago, Illinois. By day, Liz wears two hats. She's a makeup artist and a patient care coordinator at ReJenerate Aesthetic Studio in Bucktown. Liz's journey into makeup artistry began during her youth, sparked by a desire to explore her own sense of beauty. What started as a personal exploration evolved into a passion as she discovered the ability of makeup to enhance both outer appearance and inner confidence. With each stroke of her brush, Liz infuses her artistry with warmth and creativity, aiming to empower her clients and make them feel their best. Aside from her career, Liz finds deep fulfillment in her role as a mother to her two lovely daughters, Aubrey and Delilah. Motherhood has always been Liz's greatest aspiration, and she feels incredibly blessed to guide and support her girls. Through her actions, she strives to instill in them values of perseverance and self-belief, showing them that with determination, they can achieve anything. As Liz navigates her path, she does so with a sense of purpose, not only for herself, but also for her daughters' futures. With each day, she hopes to embody the qualities she wished to impart to her daughters: kindness, resilience, and unwavering determination. Join Liz on her journey as she continues to pursue her passions while nurturing her family and inspiring those around her. So Liz, we're excited to hear about you, and we're very eager to know a little bit more about yourself. So if you can please let us know your journey into motherhood, because we know, or I know, that you are a mom.
Yes. Well, first of all, thank you for having me. I feel so grateful to be able to have these conversations with you and for you providing this platform for us. So thank you. So a little bit about my motherhood journey. My favorite part of life is being a mother. Um, there was a point in time where we didn't even think that I was gonna be a mom. Everybody was saying that it wasn't gonna be a possibility, but I knew at a very young age that I was destined to be a mother. You know, there was kids that were like, "Oh, I want to be an astronaut and I want to be a lawyer," and I was like, "No, I want to be a mom." And I remember, I went in for a surgery that I needed. I ended up having an ovary removed. And when I went in, they were like, "Well, we can't do the surgery today." And I was like, "What are you talking about?" They're like, "Oh, well, you're pregnant." I'm like, "No, I'm not."
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I was like, there's no way. And they're like, "Oh, well, here's your test." And I just remember sobbing. And if you ask anybody during that pregnancy, I was just glowing the entire time. My babies mean everything to me. They're my heart and soul, and I put a lot of effort into them, and they put just as much back into me, and it's just been amazing.
Wow, that's an incredible story. And I'm curious
Mm.
to know, what were those thoughts when you said you want to be a mom? Did you have someone in your network that was like a role model as a mom because you wanted to be a mom? Knowing that you wanted to be a mom at such a young, early
I
age, like,
don't, it was just a feeling. I think I was always just so drawn to like being this nurturer, and taking care of things, and just I just envisioned it and I saw it so clearly for myself, and there was no doubt in my mind that I was gonna be a great mom. It was just a feeling,
yeah.
I just knew it.
Yes, that's awesome. And I feel that moms have that special instinct. So, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
That is so great. One of the things that we like to embrace in this podcast is sharing our stories, sharing our experiences, because I believe that they're powerful and they can help others. And also, it helps us learn about some of the joys, right, that you experience, but also some of the struggles and how you overcome them. So, can you tell me what inspired you to share your experience, which it's actually courageous, right? Especially depending on your personality and your approach. I'm going to give you an example. I consider myself to be very reserved, and here I am having a podcast, right? So, what inspired you to share your experience with others through this platform? And thank you so much for doing that.
First of all, I never would have assumed that you were reserved ever. Ever. Just with the way you speak and you're so eloquent in your voice and you sound like you've been doing this forever. So I never would have guessed it. But the reason I wanted to share my experience is that I feel like there has just been so much in my life that has transpired over the years. And I was very quiet about everything that I was going through, and I didn't want to share. And I felt like I had to deal with everything on my own. And after everything happened, and the more I opened up to friends and family, I felt less alone. And, I learned that I didn't have to heal by myself. And it was like the worst thing that I could have done to myself for so long was to think that like I could get through it by myself. And I've learned the hard way that community and friendships and connections are essential to your healing, to your growth. And so by coming on here and being able to express all the things that I've been through and the way that I've kind of like overcome these things, if I could reach just one person, I know that sounds like super cliche, but it's so true because it's like I had that one person, those like I got you. So it's like if I could be that one person, I can do it here, and this can just be a little starting point.
Yes, no, and we appreciate that because like you said, it's making a difference for one person in the amount of people that are in this world is actually a tremendous impact. So I appreciate you sharing your story with us today. And I know, I've had the opportunity to meet you in person, and
Hmm.
I know a little bit of what you do and your passions in the makeup art industry. So I would like for you to share, how did you discover um, your passion for makeup artistry, and what steps did you take to pursue this endeavor?
So when it came to makeup artistry, I've always loved it. So as a young girl, I actually struggled with acne pretty bad. And so I think my first foundation was like that old cover girl, like it was like in a little triangle bottle and it was probably like 3 shades too dark. I didn't care. And that's kind of where it started. I just wanted to make myself feel better about what I look like. And from there it kind of just turned into a passion of like it's not only about how I feel when I'm wearing it. It's an experience, the whole thing from start to finish of learning new techniques. And it just kind of became something for me. It was my thing. I never thought that it was going to turn into a career for me. But there definitely was a turning point where everybody was like, well, who did your makeup? And I'm like, I did my makeup. They're like, oh, you didn't hire somebody for? No, I didn't. They're like, well, can you do mine? And I'm like, no. And they're
Yeah.
like, what do you mean no? And so instead of saying no, one day I just said yes. And that was kind of like the first step. And I had even started a page. It was like my first little makeup business. And it was called Who Did Your Makeup? So it was WDYM, which at the time I didn't know actually stood for what do you mean? Like
Oh,
through text messaging.
oh, okay.
So I had to get rid of it. But yeah, everybody would ask me, and eventually I kind of just started saying yes to things, even if I was terrified. I still feel like I'm terrified sometimes, but I'm saying yes. I'm on a podcast, not terrified, right? No, definitely terrifying, but we're still here.
Yeah, I love that name. I mean, the page, right? It's very catchy. Who did your
Yeah.
makeup? That's
Hmm.
awesome. I have an appreciation for, makeup artists because I personally don't know how to apply makeup,
Hmm.
and I'm always like I get so intrigued when I see someone doing makeup. So I
Mm-hmm.
have a really high appreciation for that. And I also learned, that well, I guess this is something that I always knew that, makeup really dates back to Asian civilizations, right? You see the people in Egypt wearing like the outline of their eyes, and
Mm-hmm.
enhancing their features. So that's one of the things I love about makeup. Um, how did you learn to do makeup? Is it something that was like self-taught, or, how did you actually get so good at it?
Yeah, it was actually just watching YouTube. There's a lot of these artists that are really big time right now that I was watching them when they sucked. They were entertaining, but they were not at the level that they were at, And I remember just watching them and being like, I want to do all of that. I want to copy all these things. And it was just like, whenever there was something I didn't understand and couldn't do it, and it's something that I still do now. Like, if I don't get it, I don't understand it, I'm always going to reference back and look up a video. I'm going to Google it, I'm going to look at another makeup artist and be like, well, how did you do that? So yeah, everything was self-taught, and my face was my only canvas
Mhm.
for a lot of years. Even when I decided that I was gonna really pursue it, my face was just like it for a while before I decided to say
You talked about how this was a career transition for you.
yes.
Were there any challenges that you faced during this transition, and how did you overcome them?
Yeah, well, I feel like there was just a lot of fear. There was a lot of unknown. And when I first decided that I wanted to do makeup, it was around 2019, and then the pandemic hit, the following year, and I had to put that on the back burner. And then there was so much happening the following year, and it was like I really had to just believe and really cling on to the community that I had and the friends that I had and just dive headfirst into it. And I feel like the obstacles that have been put in place, I've always overcome them because of my community. But let me tell you, when God shows up, he shows up, but sometimes the devil shows up right along with him.
Hmm.
And it was just like the things that were happening in the last year. I was like, I'm just trying to get to where I need to be.
Yeah.
Like, can I just get there? And I had to take it slower than I would have liked, like I would have loved to have been in this career since, 5 or 6 years ago, but due to circumstances, I had to take it slow. But I feel like it was all in preparation. And I feel like we touched on this probably the last time we spoke. I just feel like this year is like the year. Like I look at you and I see your confidence and your glow this year, and it's like I feel that same energy. I don't know what is happening in the universe, but it feels good to be where I'm at in my career and to really see everything coming to fruition.
Yes, and thank you so much.
Yeah.
I definitely want to share that. Um, there definitely has been a journey and transformation for me because you're 10 years ago, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, I was probably one of the most least confident persons in the world. And it took a lot of inner work and
Mhm.
being going back to what you were saying in the beginning, surrounding myself with really
Mhm.
people that uplift you and support you and encourage you.
Mhm.
So I'm glad you brought that up in the beginning of the conversation because that is very important, right? Having a community, having people that really uplift you and cheer you on, that definitely has helped. So thank you for for even sharing those words with me because
Mhm.
yeah, 10 years ago that was not me, and I'm glad that I portraying that confidence because a lot of times the confidence is not it's not something that it's physical, it's the way you feel, right? And you just
Mhm.
portray it to others. I'm in agreement with you. I feel that this year I'm seeing a lot more of that energy, right? That feminine leadership, and I'm here for it, right? I'm here for all
Right?
that.
It feels so good, and it's so beautiful to watch everybody like just like coming into their own, and just like I just feel like women are just they're letting go of all these like burdens and traumas, and like there's like been like some sort of release, at least within my
Yes.
group. And I'm like, amen, we're all here.
Yes,
Like, and
yes.
we're all doing things and we're all encouraging each other and keeping each other accountable. And it's been a journey, but I feel like everybody's like on the same page and it's lovely, really.
Yes, it is. It is. And I think one of the wonderful things about us women is that once we we reach that breakthrough, we want
Mm-hmm.
others to experience that, and we want to bring others, to that
Mm-hmm.
point, right?
Absolutely.
So I love that, which is really a perfect timing for my next question. Would you be able to discuss the role of makeup in boosting not just your confidence, maybe your client's confidence and self-esteem?
Oh, yeah.
How has makeup, how have you seen that in your clients or even yourself?
Well, I mean, I'm like a solid 5 in the morning, but when I throw this makeup on, honey, nobody can tell me anything. Give me a good set of lashes, okay? And my clients definitely have the same experience. And actually, watching them feel so good about themselves makes me feel so good about myself, that I can do that for them because the change that happens when they look in that mirror and they're just like, oh my God. I'm just like, oh my God, you're already so pretty, but look at you. It's an amazing feeling. And it's not that you need makeup to feel pretty, but let me tell you, when you enhance those features a little bit for a special event or for a photo shoot or sometimes just for fun, it's a different feeling. You walk a little,
Yes.
straighter and you're gonna flip that hair back.
Exactly,
Yeah, for
exactly.
sure.
Yes, I love how makeup does enhance your natural features, and also like it's just unbelievable,
Mm-hmm.
when I see the before and after, like not to your point, not that this person was not beautiful before, but just the
Mm-hmm.
enhancement that happens after that, and how their confidence, just is boosted. So that's really
Absolutely.
great.
Yeah.
How did your personal life circumstances influence your decision to pursue a career in makeup?
Mm, I feel like when it comes to pursuing the career, I feel like it was kind of just coming to life on its own. And then the pursuit of it came when it was like I had almost no choice. Like this was it for me moving forward. I knew it's what I wanted to do. And just almost having like that lack of support and searching for it. I was
Mhm.
just like, where is the support? Where am I going to get it from? Because the people that I thought I was going to get it from did not supply it. So it was just like, I have to find a way to do what I love because I know that this is it for me. And no matter how many things were thrown in my way, I honestly just I knew that it was for me and I kept studying and searching and figuring things out and meeting new people and again, saying yes. I just feel like the saying yes part of my life has changed me tremendously because I even remember when you were like, "Well, why don't you come on the show?" And I'm like, yeah. And immediately when we hung up, oh my goodness, I was like, what in the world am I doing? What am I doing? Like, who am I? Like, nobody's gonna want to listen to me, And I'm just like, you know what? Just do it. Do it scared. Let your heart beat a little bit, and you're gonna get through it. So it's like, yes, there's been terrible things that has happened, but I've given myself so much grace, and I've also really come to terms with being okay with it being a slow process. Like I feel like some people think that like you're gonna have overnight success, and I definitely felt that way. I thought I was just like, this was my circumstance. I don't care. I'm gonna hit the gas and we're gonna take off running. And it was not that experience at all.
Mm-hmm.
God was like, you need to sit down because we have some other things that we need to iron out that you have not finished up that we need to make sure that you're okay with and then you'll be ready. So I just feel like we're in a good spot now and those circumstances are, there's always going to be a circumstance, but
Exactly, exactly.
we can get through them for sure.
And I love that you're embracing doing it scared, because I do feel that at some point we reach that point where we need to be comfortable with the uncomfortable, right?
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times we feel scared because it's new, right? But not because we're incapable of doing it. It's just because it's new, and so if we naturally like that's our defense. But I'm really glad that gave yourself grace and said, I'm gonna do it, right? Even if I do it
Hmm.
scared. That's I love that because I've done that before.
Yeah, I know. I feel like anybody who's gotten anywhere has had to just say yes to a lot of things that they normally would say no to. But if you keep yourself in that box and keep doing what you're doing and you know that it's not gonna get you where you need to be, it's just, at some point you just have to loosen the reins and be like, okay, this is not the life that I wanted for myself, and how do I get to that place? And the starting point is just being like, I'm terrified, but I have to do this at this point.
Yeah, yeah. So you definitely gave a good suggestion, right? Doing it scare. Is there any other advice that you might give others who are contemplating a career change or maybe a career change after a major life event?
Yeah, like I said, it's like just just start doing it.
Mhm.
Just I actually have a post-it note that
Mhm.
says it's I do a lot of post-it notes around the house,
Yes.
and it says take a step. Just take one small step.
Yes.
And it helps me so much to remember that, like, and even just for basic tasks, because sometimes, I like to say I have a squirrel brain, you know, I'm so chaotic sometimes that I have to remind myself that a small step today is okay, but you
Hmm.
have to take a step towards the
Yes.
right direction. So
Yes.
it's just like if you are interested in doing makeup, then call your girl, tell her to come over, do her makeup. You don't have to have the most expensive kit. There are so many options now. It's not like before where you had to buy the NARS or you had to buy the Dior. Like you can literally go to the drugstore and do such a good job with those tools. So I'm
Yes.
I'm actually hoping to be able to teach people what they can use and like what they can, use in place, because I know that not everybody wants to spend $100 on a foundation,
Hmm.
but just
Hmm.
go to the drugstore, call your girl, take the pictures, post it.
Yes.
Just
Yes.
post it and do it. Because if I look back at my old Instagram, oh my God. My lash application was like one strong gust of wind and it was gonna be gone. But
Yes.
I posted it, I
Yes.
deleted it now. Don't nobody go looking for that because it's not there anymore.
Yes.
But
Oh,
it was bad. It was bad.
yeah, no. So I think that that would be so valuable, right? Like
Hmm.
teaching others how to use makeup,
Hmm.
like what to buy if you don't want to buy like something on the expensive
Hmm.
end. That would be so valuable.
Yeah.
And I think it was very important what you said also, you don't have to be you don't have you start with a small step and you don't have to be like an expert right away. It brought me
Mhm.
back to what you said earlier that you follow some makeup artists on YouTube who initially they were not that great, right? And now they're at another level.
Exactly. They're in commercials and they're doing
Yes.
so many amazing things. And I'm like, oh man, if I give myself some time, like that could be me.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be me, but it could be.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
So you are a true supporter for those makeup artists, right? Seeing them from the beginning.
Oh,
Um,
absolutely. Their
yeah.
pages were hysterical and just like the bloopers and just like looking like when they post their like recaps, I'm like, oh my God, one day that's gonna be me posting the pictures of me with my bogus eyelash.
Yes, yes. So I love that you are embracing, taking messy action, that's how I call it, or imperfect
Yeah. Oh,
action.
that's such a good way of putting it. I've never heard that. I love that. Yes.
And because it becomes a learning experience, like you just get better and better and better, and it gets you out of that sometimes I know in my experience, sometimes like when you don't take action, you kind of just get into this mode like you don't if you don't take action, you're like you almost get stuck, right? I'm stuck and then I take
Yeah.
action and then I'm good.
Yeah, and that word actually resonates so much with me because I feel like I said that so much in the beginning of like my healing journey.
Mhm,
I just feel stuck. I
mhm,
don't know where to start. I
mhm,
don't know what to do. And then I had to look around me and realize that there was other people around me that were very stuck too. And
mhm,
it's like you can't if you want to be unstuck, you can't be with stuck people, stuck in the
mhm.
same pay grade, stuck in the same mindset, stuck. in the old ways and those old patterns. And it's just like you really have to look at the people around you and be like, who do I want to be like?
Mm-hmm.
Who's demonstrating, I'm not there yet, but I would
Mm-hmm.
like to be, and what steps
Mm-hmm.
did they take? And it's like I want to be close to those people that are gonna not only hold me accountable, but really shine a light on what my life could look like down the road
Exactly.
if I take those similar steps,
Exactly. Yeah, it's so important. It's very important. And I want to go back a little bit to the beginning of the conversation, how we talked about your motherhood journey, right? There are a lot of challenges that women experience, not just in the workforce, but in general. How do you, with your current dynamic, how do you balance motherhood and work and pursuing your passions?
Oh man, I feel like I was just talking about this. How big of a transition it has been for me because I went from at the time because of COVID, I was homeschooling my children. I was at home with them full time. And then I went into part-time work. And then I got thrown into I'm a single parent and I am working full time and I am also pursuing my passion and trying to juggle those things. It's taken a way longer than I thought it was gonna take, to be honest with you. But I have found so much peace in my alone time, and I am learning that I need to be in a relaxed state, but I also need to be productive in those times, taking advantage of the time that I have alone and being able to, take care of myself
Mm-hmm.
because I feel like I did not take care of myself for a long time and really learning how to be with myself and, taking care of my physical, my mental, my emotional, and sitting with things. I feel like being able to heal and to give myself the time to process things has not only made me a better parent, but it's made me a better coworker. It's made me a better makeup artist, just being able to be authentically myself and just be in a more peaceful way. So finding balance can be hard, but like being super intentional with my time has helped me immensely. Planning that today, guess what? I'm coming home and I'm grabbing my popcorn and I'm watching a movie. Even though in my brain, I should be doing 10,000 other things. It's like, nope, today is me time. That's it. This is what we want to do today. And then tomorrow it's hustle, hustle, hustle. There has to be a balance for sure.
Yes, I love that because one, you said being more intentional. That's actually the word of the year for me.
Mm,
Intentionality is my word for this year. So this year and last year were the first year that I actually picked the word for the year, and
mm,
it's been working good for me. So this year is intentionality. So it helps me to reach my goals because I'm like, okay, I'm very intentional about this. So I love that you mentioned intentional. And
mm-hmm,
I also love that you said that you theme, right, your day. So if today is me time, even though you know that we have a list of things to do the next day, but you want to make sure that for today it's going to be me time and you're basically replenishing, right? You're filling your cup. I love that
yes.
because in a busy
Mm-hmm,
world, it's so easy for us to just keep going and just say, well, I have to get this done right today. And we forget about ourselves, right? I love that because I was in that situation before, but I've been doing so much better, right? Like the
mm-hmm,
last, I would say 2 years, and making sure
mm-hmm.
that even though we know that tomorrow we have an endless list, right? We're still gonna, I see it as like we almost like slow down a little bit, right?
Absolutely.
In order to like keep going. So I love that.
I love that too. Yeah, I
Hmm.
find a lot of joy in slowing down.
Hmm.
And I didn't have that mentality before. It was like almost a guilt
Hmm.
that I carried for sitting down and for taking
Yes.
time for myself or doing anything for myself that wasn't like mom related. And I had to really change that mentality. And now it's like, I love having a slow morning. I love
Yes.
chopping up my veggies for my omelet real slow and sitting down at a table, instead of eating standing up. Like those
Oh,
small joys, that
exactly.
that I
Exactly.
am finding now that it's like it is so like you absolutely need that as just as a human being, but as a mother, like slow down. Like that list is gonna get done because guess what? We always get it done. We
Right.
always find a way. But I found that if I did too much or put too much on my plate and didn't take that time, I would actually go into like a freeze state where it
Hmm.
became a lot harder to do that thing.
Hmm.
So I was just like, if I'm giving myself this grace today and this time today, tomorrow I know that like, boom, we hit that ground and we're good to go and everything's gonna get done. And it always
Yes.
does. It's not going
Yes.
anywhere. The list is not going anywhere. It's just it's there.
Exactly. Yeah, that's so great. And how did you get to that point? I know you said you had to change your mentality. Is there any like tools that you use, like whether it's positive affirmation, whether it's listening to podcasts, whether it's reading? How did you get that sh how did you go from that shift of, all right, I need to change my mindset?
I feel like I was pushed into a corner. Like I said, last year was a little bit intense where I had to sit with myself and really take a deep dive in inward and just be like, okay, what is it that's not working? What is it that's holding me back? And a lot of it was myself, but a lot of it was old pain that just never got processed. And I really had to let myself feel those things to get to the other end, to like see like this is what my life could look like. This is what I want for myself. This is how I want my life to feel once this burning sensation in my chest goes away.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
So it was definitely just sitting with myself and then absolutely I feel like these affirmations are so helpful and they're everywhere. Like you could get an app and it just tells you things. And I also had a little partner in pain. I like to call her my best friend, Diana. You know her.
Yes.
I like to say that we're trauma bonded, but like in the best way, right? Like in the better way, not in the bad, toxic way, like in the best way possible.
Yeah.
And we kind of just had each other, and it was just kind of like today sucked. And we even came up with a code word so that if we became a little too sulky and a little too negative, we would just shout the code word and be like, okay, never mind, girl, you want to go get, we're like ready to like snap out of it. Like we had too many goals and
Yes.
aspirations to attain that we had put on the back. It's just such a similar like timeline that I just felt like we were just aligned at the perfect time and we just needed each other, and just having that was such a beautiful experience.
Yes. No, thank you for sharing that. I think that you brought up just really great points when it comes to a mindset shift, right? It all starts with you, right? Sometimes
Mm-hmm.
we're good about like pointing somewhere else, but really it starts with you, right? With the
Mm-hmm.
self-reflection, self-awareness, and then from there it just kind of takes off. So I love that. And I do feel that once you attract or you manifest that energy that you want, you start attracting that good energy. And I do feel that people come into your life when you have that energy you want, right? Kind of like how you were saying, like then you met Diana, and seemed like you guys have the same kindred spirit, right? And you guys were
Yeah.
able to connect on a lot of the
Yeah. She has a
situations.
squirrel brain too. So
So that is awesome, how you're building your own community and have your own support system. That's very, very important, especially when you're going through transitions and
hmm
trying to get to the next level, whether it's personal or professional.
absolutely.
Yes, yes. I'm so thrilled that we're having this conversation because, you're sharing your challenges, your goals, right? And you're being human by sharing with us, your motherhood journey and some of the challenges that you had in your personal life. What are some things you want to accomplish? I know that you said this is the year, but if you can share with us, what are the things that maybe are in the near future? And then also, how we can support you and follow you on your social media.
Yeah, absolutely. So we kind of like vaguely touched on it, but I am definitely into the setting up classes. So that should be coming up. I'm hoping by May we will have the classes up and running. I have been trying to figure out like where I want to be in the makeup industry. And I love doing makeup, but I feel like I'm always having women in my seats. They're like, man, I wish I could do this. Like, I wish I could learn how to put on my, just simple things, putting on lashes or applying lipstick a certain way. And I'm like, I want to help you. Like, I love to talk. I love being around women. I love teaching. I love makeup. Like, it's almost like playtime. It's like, let's go in there. Bring me your makeup kits. I'll show you what I have. You show me what you got. I will supply you with a few new tools that you probably don't have, and I will teach you how to use them and teach yourself how to make yourself feel beautiful. So that should be up and running by May. And I also have this wonderful collaboration coming up with Belinda and Diana. So Belinda is Photos by Belinda on Instagram. And if you don't know the model nurse by now, go follow go follow them both. We have an upcoming promo that we're running for Mother's Day. So it's Mommy and Me Minis. So that'll be happening in April. I'll be doing mommy's makeup and a little makeup on the babies if they'd like it too.
Aw.
And she'll be taking the photos. So I think it's a great opportunity for, fathers or boyfriends or dads to just purchase these for their wives so they can come in and just have a day with their babies and have these beautiful photos for it. So yeah, so that's coming up soon and I'm super excited for everything that's coming up.
Well, I love that. And when you were mentioning about the classes and how people tell you they don't know how to put on lashes, that's me. I'm raising my hand. I cannot put on lashes and I would love to learn how to do that, right?
I'll see you in class. I'll see you in
Yes,
class.
yes, you will. And then
Yes.
also, Mother and Me Mini, I never had one before, and I have
Yeah.
one daughter, so I'll definitely be signing up for that as well.
Oh, I
And
love that.
I'm sure there's other moms who would definitely sign up for that.
Yeah, awesome. That sounds amazing.
Yes. So why don't you go ahead and share your Instagram page and how we can continue to follow you for those that are listening.
Yeah, so I'm on Instagram and it is Liz K Beauty underscore MUA. You'll see all my photos. There's before and after. There's a few reels. You'll see on there that I do bridal, I do prom, and I also do Halloween makeup, which I absolutely love. But yeah, prom season, wedding season is around the corner. So make sure you're booking with me.
Yes, yes. And we'll definitely post once we know when those classes are and the collaboration in April, we'll definitely post it also on our Instagram so that others can join you.
Absolutely. I appreciate it so much.
No problem. And thank you so much for joining us today. It was really great to connect with you through this audio community. And I can't wait to hear all the wonderful things that are going to happen this year and the following years.
Same to you. Thank you.
No problem.